Today is July 9th, 2024. This will be my very first Amtrak train in the USA that I'll ever be taking. And it's coming this way. Train 49. Here I go. I'm now in the Amtrak train heading to Chicago, Illinois. Ultimate destination is Denver, Colorado. That's my luggage. See you then. I'm having some coffee now with my friend.
Hello.
That's awesome.
Cheers.
That's awesome.
Here I am at the Chicago train station, waiting for my next connection to Denver, Colorado. And check this place out. It's magnificent. Getting ready to depart soon for Denver, Colorado from California. And here's some cool scenery.
No, you're good.
Leaving Chicago, Illinois in the California Zephyr train, heading towards Denver.
How about you? Okay, yeah. Afterwards. Yeah. Beautiful.
Today is July 10th, 2024. I finally made it to Colorado, and I'm heading towards Tabernash, Colorado to start my new life, my new job. Check this place out. It's my coworker. And your lovely dog, Hella. See you around. This is Tabernash, Colorado. Right at the edge of Devil's Thumb Resort. I'm heading towards my room right now.
Those birds are called magpies.
Yeah, that's a magpie. Where's that Devil's Thumb at? Oh, it's This is Devil's Thumb. I got it magnified. Today is July 13th, 2024, and I'm here at the Fraser Winter Park train station in Colorado. And I'm just waiting on my train. Not sure what time it is, but my train arrives around 10:30 p.m. tonight, I think. And I think it's around 1:45 or close to 2 p.m. right now. But check out the view. It's pretty nice out here. I think my train might be coming down from this way tonight. Or maybe that way. I'm not sure. But anyways, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Brandon, and this channel is about documenting my life and seeing how far I get in success. So I'll be sharing life lessons and my everyday life, seeing what I've learned, what not to do, and things like that. And it feels like a nice sunny day today. The air is really dry. So I came here to Tabernash, Colorado at Devil's Thumb Resort to go to work as a spa attendant. And unfortunately, the weather, or climate I should say, the dry climate isn't very good for my sinuses, and it's causing me to have allergies. I notice it's drying up my sinuses, and sinuses can get a little bit bloody sometimes too. Notice my skin's a lot drier. I'm a lot more thirsty. And I've been to Idaho before, and west of Texas, and certain parts out west, and I've pretty much decided that all of the western part of the United States of America is dry, more of a dry climate, and it's just not conducive for my health. So I decided to move back out east where I live in Indiana and just start over again and go from there. There's more humidity out there. And so I'm going to start over again out east and try to find a good job and hopefully start a business eventually. See where that takes me. And that's all for right now. Thanks for watching. Hello again. So since I'll be out here for a long time waiting for my train, it's only like 2:45 or something like that, might as well talk to you for a little bit. So this video in particular will be about homelessness and my experience being homeless. So my very first experience was in 2007, of June or July 2007, in Honolulu, Hawaii. I was working for a cruise ship, Norwegian Cruise Lines of America, and my ship in particular was called Pride of Aloha, which is no longer in service. I think they just have Pride of America now. And it goes around all the islands of Hawaii, and it's a domestically flagged ship, if I'm not mistaken. And I noticed my feet was hurting a lot on this job. My job was a junior waiter, which is like an assistant waiter to the head waiter. And basically I bussed tables when I was there. And it was such a wonderful experience going through the training at Piney Point, Maryland. And it was like having a new family. Everyone watched my back, and I watched their back, and it was just a very happy place to be back at that time. A lot of happy people excited to go work on the ship. But anyways, so I couldn't physically tolerate the job anymore, and I decided to walk off the ship after talking to HR and explaining to them that I'm in a lot of pain, my back hurts, my feet hurts. Regarding my back, my upper back anyway, I have like this thing called rib slippage syndrome, I think it's called, or slippage rib syndrome. Anyway, I need to get that looked at anyways to get it diagnosed, but sometimes my rib bone wants to slightly come out of my back and it gets inflamed a lot, and I've only had it almost come out a lot, like almost out of joint completely one time, but that's a story for another day. So now I had enough money to stay at a hostel in Hawaii for a while, for a few days, and then I had to go to a homeless shelter and try to borrow some money to get to fly back home to the mainland, to Indiana. And the shelter there was pretty accommodating, I think. I noticed a lot of the inmates there were, I don't know what you call them, the homeless people at the shelter. They were stealing toilet paper from the bathrooms, so there was barely any toilet paper to use, sometimes none at all. It was like a commodity. And I remember one shower stall had like poop in it. It was disgusting. And we slept on pads. It looked like there was body fluids on the pad. And they weren't properly sanitized or washed on a regular basis. So that was kind of gross. And you always had to keep your things in your pockets and your bag, keep your bag close to you, because people get up in the middle of the night, walk around, and it looks like they're snooping for stuff, like they want to steal something. So I'm sure there's a lot of theft going on in the shelter. But it was a pretty interesting experience. And I'll share the whole Hawaii experience another time. But the second time I was homeless was in 2018. I just was fed up with everything and wanted to get out of Indiana and be not really independent, but I just wanted to get out. I was just tired of the winter, just tired of Indiana. So I packed all my things, left my apartment at that time in 2018. I used to live at Terra Cooperative Apartments in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And drove out west, and I think my goal was Santa Barbara, California. Tried to start a life over there. I only made it to San Bernardino, California, and then I was backtracking in different places. It didn't feel right, so I drove to El Paso, Texas, and I think that was right. No, I think I drove as far west as Tucson, Arizona, then turned around and went back to El Paso, Texas, and stayed at a homeless shelter there for a while. And it was a pretty interesting homeless shelter there. For those of you who are a veteran of the military with an honorable discharge, I think you get a lot of help at the homeless shelter if you are homeless watching this video. There's two types of shelters out there. There are those homeless shelters for those who are not veterans, and there are specific veterans, homeless shelters for veterans of the military only. And those shelters are a lot safer. They're more protected. You get more benefits. And when I say benefits, I mean you get more resources. That's what I meant to say. You get more help. There's more programs for veterans to get into housing. There are housing programs, and that's probably a video for another day to explain all the resources, but I'm just, right now this video is just talking about my experience being homeless, and for those who are homeless, you can get out of it like I did. And almost in a way I kind of am homeless. I'm staying with my parents, but not really. I have shelter. So anyways, so I stayed at a regular shelter, which was nice. I think it was called the Rescue Mission in El Paso, Texas. And also the Salvation Army had a homeless shelter there as well. And they'll make you work. You can't just stay there and sleep and be lazy. They will put you to work. You'll have a job cleaning the kitchen or cooking or something like that. Maybe not cooking, but they'll make you clean, and you'll have a job to do. And there's counseling, you know, if you struggled with alcohol in the past, they have counselors for that. If you struggle with drugs, there's counselors for that. Thank God I never struggled with any of those things. I don't even care to do any of those things. I don't drink. I don't do none of that junk. And I advise you not to do that also. Life will just be better that way. So 2018, I was homeless for roughly 4 or 5 months. I think in Hawaii it was about a week. I was homeless for about a week. And then I think it was the year 2021, if I'm not mistaken. I remember now. So I went to go to work at a boarding school in Arizona, and to be a resident advisor, which was a pretty cool job. And then I decided I didn't really care for it too much, for stupid reasons, and I moved or flown out to Greenville, South Carolina, to be a security guard for the Greenville Museum of Art. And that was kind of an interesting experience. I didn't really care for that job because I just kind of felt like I was in an insane asylum. There's this concrete everywhere with paintings, and constantly have to get up and tell people, oh, please don't touch that, or please, you're too close. Please back away, ma'am. Please back away, sir. Constantly doing that all day, and it was annoying. I just didn't want to do it. Paid well, but, and I could have stayed, but I was just so annoyed by it. And then I went to Knoxville, Tennessee, just to try to start over and settle down there because I like Tennessee, and had a horrible experience. The shelter was not very safe. A lot of scary people were there. They could have stolen anything, and I don't know. It did not feel safe. It did not look safe. I promise you. The Knoxville homeless shelter, I don't recommend it to anyone. And I tried to get into veterans homeless shelter, but they were packed. They were packed. Like, there was a huge waiting list, and I could not get in for the life of me. Maybe I could have got in 3 or 4 months later, but who knows? All my stuff could have been stolen by then. I could have got 2 black eyes or dead. Did not feel safe at that shelter. So then I tried, then I had this job opportunity up in New Hampshire it was a live-in care position, and I tried renting a car out of Knoxville to drive up to New Hampshire, but I didn't know it was spring break, and I could not get the life of me, I could not get a car. I mean, I took a taxi up there because the app said I did have a car booked, but it was a mistake because all the cars were already booked out or checked out for spring break. And then I was stuck there. I had no more money for taxis, had nothing. I couldn't get back to the shelter, it was too far away. I could have called the police and had a ride back to the shelter, but I decided I was at the end of my rope, might as well call family and have them come pick me up, so I did. My sister came and got me, thank God. Shout out to my sister. My sister Mindy. And so anyway, she came pick me up and almost died. I remember that was a horrible night. I was out there when it was snowing, and I don't know, I remember saying spring break. I don't know if it was spring break 100% or not, but it was cold, it was snowing, and almost froze to death, and walked up to the gas station, asked the lady if I could stay in there for a while to warm up until my sister got there, and she didn't like me or something, and she said, no, I don't want, no one can stay in here, this is not a homeless shelter. And I was like, ma'am, I just need to warm up. So I was not allowed in the gas station, and I said a few choice words that I regret saying, and took off running so I wouldn't get caught by the police, and for causing a scene. And then went back to where I was standing and stayed there for about, again, I think it was, I stood there under like an awning type thing, maybe for like 10 hours. But I was soaked in snow and water and stuff and freezing to death, and couldn't feel my feet, couldn't feel my hands. Felt like I was in a dreamland. My heart felt like it was very shallow breathing, like I was about to collapse. And finally my sister and her boyfriend arrived and picked me up, rescued me, took me back to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And so yeah, that was my journey being homeless. Not everybody has family to rely on, and I understand that. And for those who are homeless, this is my advice to you: get to a homeless shelter. If you're a veteran, find a veterans homeless shelter if it's available in your area. And then right away, start asking for help with the counselor at the, when you get, for new intakes, try to get hooked up with the counselor so you can get a job and resources that you need. Get a job, try to get a bus pass or something to the job, whatever it takes, and save up money and just get that apartment. You can do it. It takes a lot of time. It could be months and months and months at the homeless shelter. You could be there for a long time, but you can do it. And then save up for a car if you don't have a car. And those who, for those who are handicapped, if you can't walk or have a limp or whatever, my advice is try to file for a disability, get some disability money coming in. And yeah, so that's all I got for now, and I'll talk to you later.